What's up, guys? Quick intro. We're going straight into qualifying for the DIRTcar
In 10,
eSports race. Let's get to it.
5, 4, 3. You're on.
It is Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Pevely, Missouri. That is the site of round 4 of the DIRTcar eSports Street Stock Series. My name is Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Mike Warren. Mike, we've had some great racing action in the first 3 rounds. We had to do a slight rain delay of round 4. We'll get to that in January, but qualifying underway already. 2 laps to set a time for 6 heat races.
Isn't this only like your second race, technically? Just asking for a friend.
It's my first race, technically. We don't... yeah, you know, sickness. There's been a lot of delays in my sense. But we've got another person who's sick tonight, and that man is Chase Rodman.
That is true. But, you know, Dylan, the interesting thing about this one, this is going to be the first time out of 4 weeks we go to a bull ring. It's been all half miles so far. Tonight's the first time we head to a bull ring racetrack here at I-55, and it's going to be interesting to see how everybody... The biggest thing I've noticed in running street stocks on here, you have less time to think on tracks like this. You got to know what you're doing. You got to set up your moves almost a turn ahead of what's going to happen. Where unlike the other tracks, you got about 2-3 seconds to think, all right, how am I going to take this corner? That's what I look to see tonight, and I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see. Also, something that's a little different coming into this one, this is the first time we've had qualifying points only work with 1 session. We've had the preliminary split the last 3 times. That's not the case tonight.
Yeah, not the case tonight at all. We're going to do basically the 6 heats, no 2 preliminary rounds, which will make it a little bit of a quicker night overall, but if anything, I think the nerves get shot up a little bit more as we're seeing qualifying times just hovering above that 15-second flat time. Every time I look at Pevely, Mike, I cannot believe that the Ironman 55 is a thing. Seeing sprint cars go around here, it's going to be difficult for these street stocks. I think compared to some of the other tracks we've been to, we're going to see a lot more body contact here.
Yes and no. I think if this track is able to put 2 really good lines, I think you're going to see a lot of guys try to pick the top or the bottom on this one. But again, these are going to go. You don't have as much time. That is going to be the biggest thing to set up passes and be able to get through. I'm also curious how this invert's going to go. It's going to be a real top 24 invert essentially for the first time here. So we'll see how that will play out. And as we've seen, these qualifying points are huge throughout this point standing so far as Tyler Jackson comes in tonight as the point leader. He's got a 2-point lead over Kyle Jarrett. Billy Northcutt 3rd, 4 points back. Adam Carlisle 4th, 15 points back. And Cruz Caudell is 5th, 18 points back. And I looked at the points a little bit earlier today. Those qualifying points are key no matter what.
Absolutely. I mean, this top 3, top 5, if you want to make the blanket a little bit larger, they're all under a blanket right now. And I can see that the top 5 start to break away, top 3 break away even more. The most impressive thing is what you're not seeing in that point standings is the top 3 don't even have wins in their column yet, but because of that consistency, because of them making the races, they've been able to have a little bit of separation, but not much between each other.
Correct. Now, the biggest thing tonight is, again, also those bonus points for qualifying have been huge, but now I think it's actually, for guys toward the top, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for them to make the race, where now you don't have to run a full feature and risk something really happening. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, if you do make a mistake earlier in the night, you got less time to come back from it.
100%. And, you know, if we're looking at the rest of the schedule for tonight, it's going to be those 6 heats with the 6 invert, 8 laps. Each top 3 will advance. We might have a C main, we might have a B main, those being 10 laps each. I don't think we might have that. I think we're going to absolutely have that. And the feature will be 35 laps. We're supposed to have a 5-minute warm-up between the feature and the last chance showdown. And I think we're in for a really exciting night right now. The race director, Dean Reynolds, is going to be saying everything to watch out for, to look out for, as we're around 10 seconds away from lining up heat race number 1. In one word, Mike, what do you feel like tonight will provide?
to do the chat that much.
I don't know in one word if I can really do that.
I was hoping
excitement.
for chaos, excitement,
Chaos.
any of the buzzwords.
I don't think it's chaos because you're getting to the middle point of the season where you got to be smart and stay out of trouble for certain things. So I think you're going to see some guys try to do that. Yeah, it's really going to be, I'm curious. Remember Tyler Jackson said last week in his post-race interview after the race that he really loved these bull rings, and I'm interested to see how he's going to come out and do tonight when we get started. But remember, we got 6 heat races, 8 laps the distance coming up as we are getting ready, and it looks like, I mentioned Tyler Jackson, Dylan, he is going to be on the front row at his first one.
Yeah, we're making a look at who is going to line up here as everyone starts to grid up and appear. Currently seeing that the top 2 will be Daniel Northcutt, Dylan Thomas, so might be showing a little bit different something, but Miles Moores, Seth Castile, Butch Baker, Kyle Jarrett, Joshua Thomas, Jace Parrish, Robert Palmer, Jen Joseph Sullivan are looking to be the 10 drivers out there. So unless I'm seeing something else, that's what I'm seeing for Heat 1's grid.
Oh, what you're seeing is correct. I'm looking at something completely.
I do it all the time. Don't sweat it. I do it a lot.
Dylan, FYI, my timing's down, so I'll not have graphics until I fix that.
So as you see, the drivers rolling off. We're going to get going very quickly here. I believe 2 laps of just pacing, and then we're going to see all the madness unfold in front of us. We thank you all for watching on the Twitch DIRTcar eSports channel, as well as the YouTube channel. And put a personal plug. I'm doing a behind-the-scenes broadcast to see what the commentators see, what we try and do to bring the best action in dirt racing on iRacing in the simulation world to you. It's going to be a fun one, Mike Warren. They're about to get ready to go green here as we pull around turn 3. The pace truck pulls down into the wall in turn 4. Green flag is out. Underway here at I-55, heat number 1.
Field's going to work its way into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. And it looks like it's going to be Northcutt taking advantage through the corner as they come through. Northcutt has it. We'll take a look on the outside. Score lap number 1 going to go to Thomas. Been a good battle side by side.
Dylan Thomas holding that middle line, not all the way up top yet. Northcutt's going to get a run down the inside. They're 3 wide. Some contact. Castile getting involved in the action as well. He's down the inside of Northcutt, and at the line, he took second place away. Almost gets cut off by Kyle Jarrett. They're already beating and banging here. That top 3, remember, is what you need to be in to advance to the A main.
Jarrett staying smooth here for the first couple of laps. He's just working his way up through methodically. Right now he's in that final transfer position as he's looking to hold on. He's only 2 points out of the point lead heading into tonight, so he's doing a heck of a job holding on to that position as we work our way through the halfway point of this first heat race.
Already halfway through, Daniel Northcutt finding himself on the outside looking in. Northcutt had a 15.183 in qualifying and was at the top of the leaderboard. Remember, this is a 6 inversion. That's why you're seeing a lot of passing. I think it's a great idea for this Street Stock Series. Top 3 has broken away.
It's all Thomas out front. Castile still holding on to second. He rolls to the bottom. Top 3 starting to break away from the field as they come by with 2 laps to go. This time, as Thomas holding on, coming off at turn number 2, he'll roll down the back straightaway, stay in single files. The track starts to slicken up in the middle. Jared knows he's in that spot. He looks like he's just going to park it there here with 1 lap to go.
White flag showing in this 8-lap heat, and it's going to be Northcutt on the outside looking in. Kyle Jarrett is going to get that final transfer spot. Seth Castile tries to slide down underneath. Dylan Thomas does not work. Win one for the Dylans. Dylan Thomas is going to win heat race number 1.
It'll be Thomas picking up the win. Castile coming home second. Jared third. He'll get the final transfer spot. Then Northcutt, Morse, Thomas, Baker, Parrish going to round out that first group as we get ready for heat race number 2 to start the stage here in this one. Another 3 cars will head to tonight's 30-lap feature event.
And it looks like we're going to have 9 drivers in this one. So a third of this field will transfer into the A main at this third of a mile racetrack. Isaac Salas will get P1 after that top 6 invert. Logan Cotels, Kevin Davis, James Stockton round out row 2. Drew Hopkins, J.C. Floyd, Jeremy Akins, Tyler Jackson, and Irvin Steege are your field is your field. The top 9, 3 will get into the A main. This is going by quickly, Mike. I can see us done through these heats within the next 15 minutes, which is wild to say.
Don't say that again. Don't ever say that again.
Do you want me
know
to?
Why?
I know why. I know why. Usually, I will be the person who jinxes it in a negative way. Usually, but I'm a positive person, Mike. I can't say that with a straight face.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Luckily for you, there's no rain clouds coming to Peebly tonight.
This is very true. Mike Warren, PR coordinator for the World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment Late Model Series. I am the host, I guess you could say, as we're green flag underway here for heat race number 2, and already Salas and Cotels get away from the rest of the field in the top 2.
Salas with that beautiful DIRTcar racing car going to make his way through. We got a car into the wall hard and another one going with him. Man, that's Stockton. And bad luck continues for Stockton in this one. We got more going around as we stay under green. And now the yellow is going to come out onto the speedway, as that was a wild first lap.
I'll tell you what, definitely a naughty run there from Kevin Davis, who slid way down low into turn 3 and got up high and kind of just shoved the man up into the outside wall. We'll catch the replay here as we're spooling it back, but you can see on the DIRTcar eSports replay system just sends it in, and that's never going to work out, and unfortunately, driver in the back got tagged in the 47.
Like Stockton just kind of hopped the left or right rear, rather, just with nowhere to go. He's going to go in, make the quick pit stop. He's going to restart from the tail of the field, but 6 laps left to go in this thing. Could be interesting to see how this plays out, though, as Salas is your leader, Cotalis in second, JC Floyd coming off a top 3 a week ago, sitting in third. Fourth is the I have scored as a 157 of Drew Hopkins and Tyler Jackson rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, that was a bit of a naughty running right there, but nonetheless, it'll send him from P3 all the way into the back of the field. Fair call indeed from Dean Reynolds. We're about to go back to green flag racing. We have completed 1 lap here, so we restart on lap 2 with Salas in the lead. Slides down low, not completely on the low line, kind of took that middle low line, and he's going to have some clean air out in front while they're set back 2 aside behind him.
Contact between JC Floyd and Cotalis as they go down into turn number 1 and 2. It's all Isaac Salas out front in that number 5 car. Floyd
some more
getting into Cotalis as they go wheel to wheel. Jackson going to use the bottom. They're just about 3 wide off the corner, but Cotalis holding on to that second position.
No one's loving this more than Isaac Salas, who is able to go, remember, from 6th in qualifying for this specific heat, and he's just holding that first place spot pretty steadily right now. We're already halfway through. How about we go to 3 laps to go here in this heat?
Floyd still trying to work the middle of the racetrack, trying to get by Cotalis on the inside, but time's running out for the 2 drivers behind him, Drew Hopkins and Tyler Jackson. They're looking at a last chance showdown potentially, as Floyd now goes to the inside to take second away as they come down here with 2 to go.
I don't think this race is completely over for 4th and 5th, and Hopkins and Jackson, they're getting much closer. Now they're almost side by side. Drew Hopkins goes to the outside. Right in front of him is Cotalis, who shuts the door, and now with white flag out, it's going to be a mad dash to the finish. I think Cotalis' move right there might have sealed the top 3 for him.
Salas will bring it around off of turn number 3 and 4. He will win heat race number 2. Coming across the line, second will be JC Floyd. Third will be Logan Cotalis. He gets in. Hopkins going to finish 4th. Jackson 5th. Stockton bounces back to 6th. Then it'll be Akins, Davis, and Stedgy going to round out the field in heat race number 2. So Jackson and Hopkins going to have a little work to do in the last chance showdown a little bit later as we move on to heat race number 3.
Only 1 caution in that one on a lap. Well, I'd like to say a lap 1 incident, but it ended up being a lap 2 incident. And an ELL was given out, and that's all she wrote for Jackson and the rest of the combatants involved in that incident. Nonetheless, Christopher Hill will lead the 3rd heat to the line as Joey Brewer will be alongside him. Joshua Ringer, and I really can't wait for everyone to see that number 3 car, a tribute to Dale Earnhardt. Pretty amazing. as Bryce Dickinson, Sean Hayes, Adam Carlisle, Rusty Bilger, Sage Luther, and William Curl are your 9 competitors in this heat.
So the field going to work its way down the front straightaway. We'll go back to green flag racing next time by. As a lot of guys to keep an eye on, including our producer Mick's favorite driver in this series, Rusty Bilger.
I don't wonder why. That's an awesome name to have. That is definitely... You know, I thought it would be Mike Warren or Jackson Steele, but I digress. I guess not in this one. Green flag! We're underway in Heat 3 as Christopher Hill got a great jump at the start. They're already 3 wide and hitting quarter panels and fenders. And, oh man, this is a wild start as a driver goes way down low. Almost 4 wide out of 3 and 4. And they all make it back to the line in one piece.
Looking to be your leader as they go off on turn number 1 and 2. Going to be Brewer sitting in that number 2 spot as they come down through the corner. 3 wide battle through the back of the field. We got one almost around contact, and somehow they keep it rolling as they come off the corner.
William Curl getting a really squirrely right there, and he's able to keep it going straight, but he's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to even have a shot of getting into the top 3 here. I think this race, unless there's a caution, is over for him. They're under a blanket for positions 5 through 8, but other than that, the top 4 under a blanket as well. Adam Carlisle versus Joey Brewer for that finals transfer spot, and Brewer's in the wall. Carlisle hit him up high and sends him into the wall, and Brewer now comes back and spins as he's trying to make contact with Carlisle. What's the first rule of racing besides don't hit your teammate, Mike Warren?
Just keep going. As Carlisle going to continue to keep this the ice band as he has on the front of the car, holding on to that 3rd spot. But we got a great battle behind him. Spots 5 through about, I'm going to say 9, all fighting for position, but it's all going to be out of a transfer spot here as time starts to wind down.
I was going to say one of those rules is learn to wreck someone without wrecking yourself, and that's what Brewer almost did as there's a bunch of sliders being thrown in the back. But you look up front, Christopher Hill, Joshua Ringer, they are all alone as the white flag shows. 1/3 of a mile to go. They're safely in this transfer position with Adam Carlisle rounding out the top 3. One last slide attempt for Ringer. It is not going to work, so Christopher Hill wins. Ringer 2nd, Carlisle 3rd. That's your 3 transfers into the A main.
Bryce Dickinson will finish in 4th. Or actually, Sean Hayes 4th, Bryce Dickinson 5th, Joey Brewer 6th, Sage Loser 7th, Rusty Bilger 8th, and William Curl 9th as we are happily done with our heat races this evening.
I wasn't trying to. He's turned across my nose. What do you want me to do?
Adam, it was my call, my opinion, what I saw on the screen. It's not up for debate.
So,
you know, that's all.
I'm not sure exactly what we just heard, but I know there's some conversation going on with Dean Reynolds and Adam Carlisle right now. Mike, were you able to hear any of that?
Negative.
Some frustration, so I don't know if something's going to be applied to Carlisle before we get going for the A main or anything of the sort. I think we'll figure that out in a little bit, but nonetheless, we're going into Heat 4. I think we're skipping Heat 6 tonight, so it's just going to be 5 heats, 2 heats to go. And your lineup is Ben Harcum and Dustin Fryer, your top row, with Clifford Bellamy, Colt Curry in row 2. Billy Northcutt, Ty Dickinson in row 3. Cody Nering, Joe Marin, and Brandon Scherp. Or Scherpke, excuse me, in the 9th position.
Again, side by side, no flaring out, no peak.
Field's going to get the 1 to go sign this time by, and you can see the track really starting to slick up through the middle, and it's continued to do that. I think you're going to see a little bit of brown on the bottom. It's going to be interesting if anybody can run that position with the way this banking is here at Peevely.
We've got a very well-known in the South late model commentator Cody Early watching along with us. You can watch on DIRTcar eSports Twitch and YouTube channels. We're green and underway here as Ben Harcum does not get a great jump. Dustin Fryer from the high line goes up high. Harcum is spun into the inside wall. Heavy contact, and he's going to try and get that car going. Oh, calamity at the start.
A tough break for Harkham, and once he's got hit the first time, he just started pinballing around, and that's going to be a tough break for him. As we go back to the front of the field, it's all Dustin Fryer out front. Colt Curry holding on to that number 2 spot as they come around, and it's Ty Dickinson rounding out your final transfer spot here with 2 complete.
You can see that they're all running up high, right up against the wall. We haven't really seen that at this track so far, around 1 and 2 in the heats tonight. Maybe a little bit of changing happening on the track conditions as well.
Starting to close in on Dickinson as he's going to stay on the top line as Northcutt comes down just a little bit, trying to run the bottom, and that's going to give a little bit of momentum. Meanwhile, the Northcutt as they roll through turn number 1 and 2. Dickinson still trying to hold on to third as they come by, but it's all Dustin Fryer up front at the halfway point.
It's kind of hard to get yourself by a driver when everybody is going on the same line. But yeah, Mike, this is ending quickly. We're about to come to that 3-lap to go signal, and I think Northcutt is going to have to try something desperate as we see Colt Curry try the inside line and maybe get by Dustin Fryer. I think it lost him maybe a 10th right there. Might not be the line to go around 1 and 2 at this point in time. Bellamy is right there on Northcutt, 2 to go.
Still Fryer, but they're both got into the wall a little bit that time as Curry's got about a car length or so between your leader and himself. Curry going to go right back to the bottom, trying to use that brown a little bit. He gets right on the bumper as they come to the white flag. Will he have a shot at him?
Cole Curry's going to really send it in there. He almost gets into Dustin Fryer. That opens the door for Ty Dickinson to maybe have one last Hail Mary shot for second. Northcutt goes around up high. Not going to get it done. Dustin Fryer, Cole Curry, Ty Dickinson. Ooh, give it one more lap, and that's something interesting right there.
Finishing 4th, Bellamy 5th, Chirpke 6th, nearing 7th, and Ben Harkham will round out the field in 8th as Fryer, Curry, and Dickinson work their way into tonight's feature event as we now move to heat race number 5.
We have another very famous watcher, Mike Warren, and that's Brett Ladahoff, Ryan Gustin's former crew chief. He said, "Don't make me get onto this race." I think, I think he should race in this. What do you think?
Stick to working on cars.
And iRacing builds. He's done a lot of iRacing builds this offseason. I'd love to see what he's doing there. But here are the 9 drivers competing in heat race number 5. Bradley Means, Ronald Piles, Daniel Stifler, John Quill, Kyle Ramsey, Brady Ehrman, Dylan Hansen, Ian Good, and Stephen Broy. Your top 9. Remember, the top 6 were inverted. Top 3 will make it into the 35-lap feature later in this event. This is the final heat race, and we've seen some good racing. I'd say the finish to heat race number 4 was definitely a barn burner of a finish.
Definitely, Dylan, definitely, as we get ready for the official pace truck to roll its way off at turn number 4. Green flag going to come out onto the speedway as we are back to green on the outskirts of I-55.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag out. Bradley Means goes down inside. Ronald Piles gets high up into the wall. 4 wide behind. My goodness, they're going to be 4 wide, almost 5 wide into 3 and 4. They make it stick. Piles gets a little bit of contact in his left rear panel from Daniel Stifler. Stifler will go up high. Piles into the wall. Oh my goodness, this is insane.
How on earth did we stay green through that as they work their way through the corner? Bradley Means going to hold on. Piles still holding second. Stifler third. Quill fourth right now. So it's Stifler holding on to that final spot, but they're 3 wide for it as they roll to the bottom of the racetrack. Who's going to have the spot off the corner? It's still going to be Stifler as he holds on.
I mean, this is some incredible racing right now. Means, Stifler, Ehrman. Ehrman started in 6th, would have been 1st. I believe he qualified in 5th. Overall, for tonight's proceedings. He is trying to work his way into the top 2 as we reach that halfway point here.
4 in, 4 remains. Still going to be Means up front. Stifler trying to hold on to that number 2 spot. Ehrman holding on to 3rd as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Watch the 43 car. He's going to make a good move to the bottom, but just doesn't have the momentum to take it stick as that banking really helping Stifler out for the time being here as we move to the closing stages.
Ehrman is still trying to get into that top 2 spot, unable to do so as they round 3, just doesn't have that momentum. 2 laps to go here. Means is sitting with around a 2 car length advantage in front. Ronald Piles slides up in front of Kyle Ramsey. Piles is going to use that high line and try to get some momentum to get back to Ehrman. But those two, they almost come together. 4 car lengths in between Ehrman and Piles. Piles throwing it up high. I don't think he has enough momentum. I think the top 3 is locked in and ready to go. Bradley Means rounds turn 4. He will win Heat 5. Daniel Stifler, Grady Ehrman, your next qualifiers. And that's 15 drivers all qualified for the A main.
Miles will finish in 4th, Ramsey 6th, Good 7th, Quill 8th, Hansen 9th, and Broy will round out the top 10, as that will move us to what looks to be round 2 of our qualifying to see who gets into the show as we move on to the first of what I believe is going to be 2 last chance showdowns.
And I'm trying to see exactly. We've got 4 that are going to be transferring from here to the feature. I'm trying to tell if it's the feature or the B main, because currently it's shown at C main and 4 are qualifying to the feature, but I'm sure 4 are going to qualify to the B main. Any clarification would be lovely there.
I can give you clarification. They're both listed as a C and B main because that's how it's got to be listed. They are both last chance showdowns.
You've done this before.
I've been in a few last chance.
You've been in a few. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I've been at 0 because you know I'm so good that I don't have to be in a B or a C main.
All right, guys,
Laugh when you want to.
10 laps. It says C main, guys, but
no comment.
Really B main 1.
And that's exactly what Dean Reynolds is explaining right now to everybody, that while in reality it says C main, it is just a B main. So thank you, Dean. Thank you, Mike Warren. Always trying to get the best information forward to all of our listeners, watchers, and everything of the sort. We're going green very shortly here.
Top 4 going to transfer. This is going to be interesting because you got guys, including your point leader, who's going to start 4th in his first last chance showdown. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Lots of nervousness is here. Green flag. We are going here as the pace truck just pulls off. Daniel Northcutt, Sean Hayes, Ronald Piles, and Tyler Jackson, your top 4 as we get this one started. We're already through turns 3, now heading into 4. 1 lap done, 9 to go.
He's not afraid to use the top side of the speedway as he works way up top.
Too high.
Number 1 and 2, as he's going to hold on to the spot. Northcutt's still holding on to 2nd. Now keep an eye on Jackson. He's going to go to the bottom looking for that runner-up position off of turn number 4, but yellow is out, so we got a car around.
I think that's definitely a welcome bit of relief. As Dean Reynolds says, it's just a racing deal, so nothing we've got to worry about too much, and that always makes our job fairly easier. No pointing blame, pointing fingers, anything of the sorts, but nonetheless, a fairly chaotic start to this one of 2 B mains.
I mean, you can expect that, though, with the way everything's been going so far in this one. Right now, that final transfer spot, though, it's going to be key to see who comes up with it. So it's Hayes, your leader, Northcutt 2nd, Tyler Jackson 3rd, as those 3 safe for the time being. But it's that 4th spot that's going to be the final ticket into the show tonight, and we'll see who that'll be as we'll go back to Green Flag Racing next time by.
It's also the safe for the time being, right? They're going to have to get right back on the throttle, right back on the horse, because even if you're in the top 4 right now, you've got a hungry pack of drivers right behind you, and we've seen some of them are willing to mix it up, get involved, and I think we're going to see some more of that continue to happen. Pace truck down the infield, green flag back out. Northcutt on the outside. Tyler Jackson in 3rd down the inside. Going to be side by side with Northcutt. I think Jackson's going to get the better run because Sean Hayes kind of cut off Northcutt's run right there.
Jackson trying to hold on to the bottom. He'll have the 2nd spot at the line, but is it going to be enough to take the lead? No! Northcutt goes around. He's going to see if he collects somebody, but yellow's out onto the speedway, and that's going to change things a lot.
What a huge mess. And, I mean, with Daniel Northcutt getting involved right there from being in position 3 as we cross the line, oh, goodness, that's huge. We'll catch the replay.
And it looks like, just taking a look at the replay, he got into the 9 car, and then as soon as he checked up, he was already going around before the 22 got into him. As we'll take a look at it again as they come down the front straightaway. You see Hayes working his way on the outside. Northcutt trying to move. He's already around before the 22 gets to him, and it's just a chain reaction behind him with a number of cars involved.
It was so close to involving Tyler Jackson, even though he had around a car length in between where that mess started. You never want to be even close to an incident like that in a B main when you're leading the standings right now.
All right, everyone else to go where I
Not at all, especially when you see making these shows has been very important so far in this one, as we got 6 laps to go in this first of 2 last chance showdowns. It's Sean Hayes, your leader, Tyler Jackson second. And that's going to move Ronald Piles up to third. And Thomas got lucky. He's still going to restart from that number 4 spot as we go back to green.
Green flag back underway. Sean Hayes still in the lead. Tyler Jackson sending it way up high, trying to use all of that cushion. He's going to get a run going into 3. Top 4 make it from this B main, and we are halfway through.
Piles trying to hold on to that spot, but he's got 4 hungry cars working behind him as they come off of turn number 2 that time. As Bellamy works his way into 5th in that 002 machine. Then working the bottom is going to be the 5 of Akins. We'll see who comes up with this as Piles just trying to hang on. Meanwhile, it looks like a great battle for the lead up front as Jackson and Hayes are side by side.
Jackson gets the run, cuts down at the exit of 2, and has just a nose out in front of Hayes. But like you were saying, that top 4, that's what you need, and that's exactly what Ronald Piles has. He's got 2 positions in front, but Piles is known to just send it right off the rear quarter panel into the wall, and he does it there and loses some time. Jace Parrish not happy about something, says somebody ran him over. Yellow flag is out. I wonder if it's related to that, and we're going to have a restart with, I think, I'm not sure if we got to the line. It might be 3 laps to go. Yeah, 3 laps to go once we get restarted.
So Jackson going to be your leader. Hayes second. Justin Thomas works into third.
What's up,
It's
Zero?
Ronald Piles that has that final spot. Can he hang on for just 2 more laps? That's going to be the really tough question here, as it's going to be wild when we go back to green.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that 3 laps. So it's interesting, right? How it almost provides that extra third of a mile for everyone to try and catch up to the top 4, just because you're just mere yards away from getting to the line. But hey, that's racing. That happens in the real world. We've seen it many a times happen, and it's part of it.
Tyler is going to fire first at
that is the case too, as Jackson, as we mentioned before, just has to hang on. He'll make another feature, and he'll be able to make a run, albeit deep tonight, from the back of the field, as he is the point leader heading into tonight's racing action. Sean Hayes sitting in that number 2 spot.
This is an interesting... Oh, I don't know what about that. I'll say exactly what I saw, Mike. But Sean Hayes is right on Tyler Jackson. Jackson blinking a little bit. Hayes goes down to the inside. I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit higher to try and cut off any movement on the outside. Remember, you can try and make a move on the outside, just not down the inside per iRacing rules. White flag in the air. They did go green, white, checkered. Top 4, not completely separated. Piles has the advantage, and I think now he has a good certifiable advantage as long as Bellamy can't catch up. It's exactly what happens. Jackson wins the first of 2 B mains, and the top 4 are going to be Jackson, Hayes, as well as trying to see exactly who finished. Joshua Thomas and Piles. Yep, thank you very much. But you see there was some blinking there, and that's never comfortable, especially when it's the leader.
No, not at all. But hey, either way, those 4 have worked their way in, and we got our second last chance showdown coming up next. 4 more drivers going to punch their ticket in tonight's feature.
So we've got 16 drivers. A quarter of the field will make it into the A main. Drew Hopkins, Billy Northcutt. Remember, that's another interesting name to look out for in this one of 2 last chance showdowns. Miles Morse,
All right, Drew.
Bryce Dickinson, Kyle Ramsey, James Stockton, Brandon
Sherpke,
Shirpke, Butch Baker, Sage Luther, John Quill, Kevin Davis, Ben Harcum, Joseph Sullivan, William Curl, Stephen Broy, and Robert Palmer are your 16 top 4. Go to the feature. It's almost feature time, by the way, Mike Warren. So we started this qualifying session 36 minutes ago. We're already through 5 heats, a warm-up session, a B main, and we've got one more B main to go.
10 laps. Top
That's it.
4
This is
to the
moving.
feature. Be good to each other. Good luck.
Knock on wood. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Knock on very, very fast. I think that's granted, actually. But either way.
Are you at the World of Outlaws and DIRTcar racing offices?
Yes, I am.
Is our producer Mick with you?
Yes, he is, as the green flag comes out. Oh,
Green flag, and yeah, you saw that. That was a horrible start right there for Billy Northcutt, and Northcutt kind of comes down. Calamity, caution's going to come out.
well, the good news is the 47 car of Sullivan, who got out of shape when they came to the green, just got another chance because everybody just seemed to wreck in turn number 1 and 2, and that's going to help him out a little bit. You see them come through the corner. Well, Stockton gets tagged, and it just starts a chains reaction going around, and that's not good.
Well, you saw there was some movement even up in the field. I think Northcutt might have gotten into a driver in front of what we just saw with that.
So yellow out onto the speedway here. 1 lap looks like in the books as Hopkins and Northcutt back at the front of the field.
Did I just hear some...
As the 157 car out there again as we move to the second last chance showdown. If you're just joining us, the feature will be coming up after a 5-minute warm-up session right after this as we continue to work through this race number 4 of the DIRTcar eSports series here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55.
Mike, it seems like they have lengthened this caution a few laps to try and get everybody in the right positioning. Which I think is definitely needed after that. There was a lot of yelling in the chat as well. Bellamy saying, or this was a little bit earlier, but yeah, Kyle Jarrett, Tyler Jackson, Jeremy Akins, all of them having things to say. And also over the voice chat, Dean Reynolds had to tell everyone to kindly be quiet. So still a few more laps before we get back to green flag racing right here. And currently, let's hear what Dean Reynolds is saying. So this is what Dean is saying, the race director. So Miles Morse got into the corner a little bit too hard, and with a lot of cars trying to lift, Morse is going to get nothing there. A racing deal, as Dean Reynolds will provide it. No ELO for anybody given by DIRTcar eSports officials. We're going to just go green and double file. So, Mike, that's the outcome there.
I'm going to need a black clear because the 38's not out here.
Is the case going to go double file?
Yeah, we'll get you, Johnny.
Look to go green flag racing coming out of this one with Hopkins at the front.
Green flag, green
Drew
flag.
Hopkins will lead the way. A bunch of black flags just got cleared right as we went into green. Billy Northcutt in second. Again, they're 4 wide, beating and banging bodies as we head into turn 3. Lap 2 of 10 in the second of 2 last chance showdowns. One driver, Miles Morse, again gets up high and ends up hitting a driver. Morse gets rear-ended twice, gets slowed down, has to get handed just kind of a bit of contact from Sage Luther, and Miles Morse has fallen all the way back in this field. He just can't seem to get it slowed down enough in the corners. Nonetheless, Hopkins in the lead. Northcutt in second with Dickinson in third. Kyle Ramsey, the last transfer position. He's got Kevin Davis, Butch Baker, and William Curl right behind him as we head to lap 5 of 10.
5 laps in the books. We hit the late sign. All Drew Hopkins out in front. Northcutt holding on to second. Dickinson third. Ramsey fourth. Davison rounding out the game as they get into the top 4 as the field continues to work through turn number
Field continuing to get everything going smoothly since that first lap incident. Hopkins, Northcutt, Dickinson. They're under a blanket in the top 3. Coming to 3 laps to go. Rounds corners 3 and 4. Race control might have something to say. Their voice line is open, but nothing comes out. John Quill is actually going to pull out of the race. He's going down into the infield. So his day is done. Robert Palmer slides in 1 and 2. And, takes out who it appears to be Miles Morse. And there's a yellow. There's a yellow with just 2 laps almost to go before we get back to the line. Morse, who was a non-combatant, pretty much got taken out by Palmer,
right, guys,
who goes down the infield. This is going to be a single file restart, according to Dean Reynolds, as I believe it's going to be 2 laps to go. It'll be extended for a green-white checkered.
Okay, guys, one that was made that caused the yellow come out has gone to the pits, so no need for the ELL. Guys, it's going to be
So,
a green,
no
white checker,
ELO
single file restart. Sure,
will
you're
happen.
Gonna fire first at the opening. Everyone else, you're going to stay nose to tail.
Due
just
to
follow the car in front of you.
competitors who were
No
involved
peeking in,
going
no
down
peeking out.
into the infield.
Guys, we're going to do this right. We're going to do it the way it should be.
Appreciate everybody watching here on the DIRTcar eSports channels on YouTube and Twitch. If you're watching on my Facebook or my YouTube or Twitch, you're getting a little bit of a behind-the-scenes bit of action as single file restart is happening. The final last chance showdown. Green flag is out. Drew Hopkins leads the way. Top 4 transfer into the A. Billy Northcutt here has second. Bryce Dickinson in third, with Kyle Ramsey in fourth. Ramsey has a competitor in Davis who tries to slide underneath him. He does, but he can't make it stick. Davis lost a lot of room right there. White flag is out. It's a race for that 4th spot. Davis too far back. Kyle Ramsey, unless anything crazy happens right here, as Davis almost slid and took him out. Doesn't matter, though. Top 4 is Hopkins, Northcutt, Dickinson, and Ramsey. A very combative last chance showdown number 2. Nonetheless, though, that is it for all the A main or the B mains, and we are going to go into a quick break as a 5-minute warm-up before the A main gets going. 35 laps here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely, Missouri. It's the DIRTcar eSports Street Stock Series Championship, and I'm Dylan Coyle. We'll be back. So, now we'll be back. I think Mike's having mic issues.
Hey, Dylan, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Okay. Something happened here to Mike's mic, and I had to reset it, so you guys should be back to normal now. Sorry about the confusion.
No, you're good, man. I think it still went smoothly, as smoothly as it could go.
Yeah, so, okay, he's back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, buddy. Everything good?
Yeah. It just, you all of a sudden couldn't hear you.
So, like, I was talking, and then you started talking as if you couldn't hear me, and I was like, what's going on here? So I just started continuously talking, you know what I mean?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Take in some Discord and go have at it.
It wasn't too noticeable. I obviously, it was a little weird, but it's all good. This is definitely better than the last race I did in terms of wrecks and everything. Like the 50 for 50 race for Super Dirt Week was very crash filled.
Oh, I believe it.
I also get with how much is at stake for that, right? Like, yeah, I want to be on stage at Super Dirt Week in a all expense paid trip.
Check, check, check. There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Mick, you're coming through beautifully, man.
I can't hear you through the headset.
Dylan, you got a copy?
I got a copy. You got a copy?
Okay, we're all good.
I mean, I can't hear you through the headset, but I don't really need to.
You shouldn't be able to hear me because I'm muted.
Okay.
I
forgot about that.
Are you guys sitting right next to each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys holding hands?
No.
No, he's holding his phone. I'm holding my vape stick. 4.5 minutes left in this commercial break. So, Dylan, since I can't have the game clock open while I go in, give me a 30-second heads up to the end of qualifying, and then I'll count you in.
And a warm-ups, you mean?
Warm-ups, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's at 249 out of 5 right now.
Yep, I see that.
Alright,
So at
I
like
didn't see
4:30, let me know it's at 4:30, and I'll
You're
wrap
good.
up commercials and count you in.
10-4. I am going to be gone for 30 seconds. Hold on.
Yep.
Gotta pee. When nature calls.
Minute 30 left, guys. A minute 30. My bad, Ronald.
Oh, good.
Guys, with a minute to go, I'll just let you know the race is 35 laps in length. 35 laps in length. Guys, at the finish, I don't know if they've been doing it. It's actually my first final that we've been getting. Top 3 dual Le Mans on the front stretch for a photo opportunity. I don't know if they've done that yet, but if they haven't, let's do it tonight. Gang, the only couple things that I'm going to say that we've been noticing a little bit in the heats is just watch yourself going in. Let's not do a lot of dive bombing going in. If you happen to go in just a hair too hard, get the car in front sideways a little bit, just back out of it, guys. Let them straighten out and then go get them in the next corner. Guys, also, we know these are
425.
cars. The cushion is
He's not
up
here,
against
so there's
the
not much
top.
we can do about that.
If we do think you're using it to your advantage,
What?
we might do something about that. And the only
got
other
up.
thing, guys, is now
Okay.
the feature, nothing is official until we all go through the replay afterwards. If you remember,
Mick, we're at
we've done
about
it before.
4:35
We even
at this
done
point.
it to Mr. Alex Bergeron. He did the interview and everything else. And
According to my
we wound up
source.
taking a win away afterwards because of
We're at
a race that he did during the
452.
race. Not to saying that's going to happen here, guys, because I think you guys are going to put on a good race, but just to let you know we have done that.
You're back, Dylan. I forgot. I was muted.
Hello and welcome back to I-55, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely, Missouri for round 4 of the 2022-23 DIRTcar eSports Street Stock Season 10 race schedule. I'm Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Mike Warren. It's feature time here. We've seen 5 heats, 2 last chance showdowns, and now we've got 35 laps for 23 drivers gridded up. Mike, this is going to be a fun one.
So I'm very curious to see how guys are going to maneuver their way through traffic because it's already a little bit slick, and really who comes out with it. Keep an eye on a couple of guys. We talked about guys like Drew Hopkins, Tyler Jackson had to come from the last chance showdowns. How are they going to work their way up through the field? It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, and this is the first bull ring of the season.
Let's go through the top 23, all 23 competitors very quickly. Dylan Thomas is going to be the pole sitter. Isaac Salas, Christopher Hill, Dustin Fryer. They are your top 4. Bradley Beams, Sean Castle, J.C. Floyd, Joshua Ringer, Colt Curry, Daniel Stifler, your top 10. It's going to be till Kyle Jarrett that we see a championship competitor in 11th. Logan Catellis, Adam Carlisle, Ty Dickinson, Grady Ehrman, Tyler Jackson currently leading the standings. Drew Hopkins, Sean Hayes, Billy Northcutt, another driver in the championship battle. Joshua Thomas, Bryce Dickinson, Ronald Piles, and Kyle Ramsey. Your 23. This is going to be interesting to see who's going to be in the championship conversation, who is potentially a pretender, who is a real contender. It's going to all come down to round 4 out of 10 right now. Green is in the air. 35 laps to go. Isaac Salas looking to get him a little bit loose in the outside, and he's going to get a run.
Thomas just got loose on his own coming through turn number 1 and 2. Salas going to bring it around on the top off of turn number 4, and as they go to the line, it's going to be Salas as your race leader as he'll click off lap number 1, but still a long way to go to this one. It's 35 laps, a lot of time here around Beatley.
It's pretty much 11 and a half or so miles. How about 11 and 2/3 miles is what we're running here. Unless my math is completely off, then don't listen to me. But nonetheless, this is going to be fun to see what Thomas is going to be able to do because he's got a fast car as well. And Isaac Salas is starting to get a little bit away from him, running a bit of a higher line as we enter lap 4 of 35.
Salas right there, a couple of cars trying to maneuver their way up through the field. And the key here for the guys in the middle is patience versus go time. We're going to see who's going to be able to do that the best. But right now, Salas with a good jump. And it got 6 car lengths or so on Thomas, holding on to that second spot as they come through the corner once again. Not really first battle we have on the tracks, going back to that number 4 and 5 spot as Castle and Means going to be side by side.
Speaking about the championship competitors, Kyle Jarrett started in 11th, already up to 7th on lap 6. Tyler Jackson up to 13th from 16th. Billy Northcutt only up 2 positions, 19th to 17th, and he's in the thick of things. So this is going to be intense for all 3 of them. This is where we start to see if positions 4 and 5, Carlisle himself is able to get back into this championship hunt. Yellow is out. As trying to see exactly what happened at this small racetrack.
It looks like it was Curry involved.
All good. I got crossed up. I entered too low.
So Colt Curry, the
Your internet's kind of jumping
problem.
on me, Logan.
Yeah, we'll catch potentially catch what happened here, but Hayes was underneath him. Curry slid and got loose and came down on Hayes, and he got turned himself. So Colt Curry is going to get that end of line penalty. No huge damage to anybody else there, which is a thankful thing, as it's getting a little bit darker there in sim. Both on the track and in the sky.
Well, right now your leader, Isaac Salas, he finished 11th last week at Bristol, looking to better that from a week ago, as Cruz Caudell was the one who picked up the victory in that one a week ago, if you were joining us last week. As Salas is going to try to take control of that as we go back to green, as he's got Thomas on the outside. We'll see if he can make a move to get to the lead.
Salas looks like he's sliding up, but Thomas is not going to give him the space, so Thomas is going to have some of a run down here on the outside. Salas slides up this time in 4, and they do a bit of a crossover. So at the line, it is led by Thomas, and Thomas now crosses him over and slides up in front of him. Guys, boys, be careful here. We're only a third of the way in.
Right now, Salas and Thomas still side by side as they continue to switch lanes down the front straightaway. They go into turn number 1 and 2, and all this behind him is allowing Kyle Jarrett, who's cracked the top 5 now, to work his way up. JC Floyd also looking for his back-to-back top 3 finish, as that 18 car already up to 3rd. Some great battles going on early going, and now you can see Jackson in the picture toward the back in that green car.
Man, you're not kidding. And we see some blinking. Was that Salas? I wasn't quite sure who that was up in front. As we see, I think a big crunch almost happened down the backstretch with that opening. And Sean Hayes, yes, he's in the infield for some reason and struggling to get out. I think his engine just blew. So yellow flag is out because of that. That is an interesting
He wouldn't be
replay.
the first guy to stay out on the track with his engine blue. I mean, that might have happened last week in a preliminary feature. I don't know who done that. Might be the one talking right now.
That's fair. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Catellus got loose and got into Hayes, and Hayes slid down into the infield, blew his engine from something, and the yellow came out because of it. So that was a weird caution. That was a weird caution, but we get a bit of a reset on lap 12 of 35. We're creeping in on that halfway point.
Which is at the pit gate on lap 18
Thank you.
on the back straightaway.
I appreciate that. 17 and a half is
Well, yes,
half of
yes,
35.
But the pit gate is on the back straightaway, so
You're right. You're very right there. You know, it would be really funny if everyone can pick up the fact that we bicker all the time on the road.
You'd have to be on time once for that.
64 and then
Okay, okay.
It was more of a racing deal on that one.
I
guys.
can't even say
So,
anything.
that's already,
I am on time to the second sometimes.
That's true. But right now, great battle we have up front, and
Dang it.
JC Floyd, back-to-back weeks. He just started running with us last week for the first time at Bristol, and he's on track to go back-to-back podiums here. Kyle Jarrett also doing a great job up to 4th. And keep an eye on Jackson. I believe he's sitting in that 12th spot, if my math is correct, which, believe me, I didn't get into PR because I was a math major, so we'll be okay.
Even though you deal with stats all the
Alright, guys,
time,
if
but that's
there's one
okay.
to go
We'll
right
ignore
here,
that.
That's different.
Can you win the championship though, missing 2 races if you're JC Floyd?
It's not far-fetched, but a lot's got to happen, and he's got to get a lot of help. And he probably needs every qualifying point possible.
You're not wrong there, as Tyler Jackson and Billy Northcutt now 10th and 11th. It's about consistency to win a championship. Green flag back out into the air. Isaac Salas on the inside here. He's going to try and slide underneath JC Floyd. Floyd still side by side as they head into 3.
Salas and Floyd still side by side as they come off the corner at the line.
Bit of contact.
It's going to be Salas, not by much. I thought it was Floyd. It is going to be Floyd as they hit the line. Those two wheel to wheel, door to door as they head down into 3 and 4 as Floyd continues to hold on to this one. And it looks like we got some action going on behind us here as we stay green. Jackson really running that top line, trying to make his way through.
You keep missing it, but Floyd got hit twice, and he just yelled out, ARG, if you will, over the live chat system. He was going for it, gunning for first. He got pushed out of there twice. Not happy at all. Floyd's going to come back buzzing.
Kyle Jarrett holding on to that number 2 spot now as he moves into position. JC Floyd now going to go to the inside, going to try to regain that number 2 spot as we click off lap number 16 on the board. Just about at the halfway point. Salas is held on, but now he's got Kyle Jarrett, who is a man on a mission, coming through 3 and 4 as he looks to take the lead.
Guys, again, please, chat,
Dean
please, guys,
Reynolds
please,
saying,
we
do
really
not
don't worry.
speak in the chat. Again, everyone getting a little bit upset with each other. I don't know if it's because of the close quarters battling, but nonetheless, Salas does not have the big advantage with these 2 drivers going side by side behind him. He starts to get a bit of an advantage because Jared had to deal with the sliding JC Floyd right there. Dylan Thomas still involved in the picture. Top 4 have broken away from the rest of the pack.
Point leader is around toward the back of the field. Tyler Jackson just got out of shape, and now he's going to go to the rear. A tough break for the driver of the 8 car. It looked like a little bit of a pinball, but he's got a long way to go and a short time to get there at this point. But back up to the lead, it's all Salas, but we got a 3-car battle for second as Floyd works his way back past Jared, and Thomas is right there as well.
Caution has come out. Joshua Ringer was about to be the first lapped car to get involved here in the top 4 battle. But now on lap 20, we're coming to 15 to go. Oh boy, this is going to be fun, Mike Warren.
Oh, it is, as the shower of street stock power continues to go onto your airwaves here on this beautiful Wednesday night at the Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. There's more sun here than there was in North Carolina today, that's for sure.
yeah, there's my goodness, wasn't today the shortest day of the year?
It is the winter solstice, yes.
Yes, that's the official name. I know the official name for it. I know what a solstice is. But it's what it means, is what I tried to say.
Yes. Good time to finish up your Christmas shopping.
Have you finished up your Christmas shopping?
Yes,
What
I
have
have been.
what
I
have
have
you
been
done?
done for a while. I have been done for a while.
What did you get me?
An alarm clock.
Okay, fine. We got a good race on our shoulders. Man, that was a good one. That was quick. That was quick and witty.
I'm good like that.
One more time.
Okay, don't go too far
We'll go around
there.
one more time, and then we'll go one to go.
We're going to go around 2 more times before we get back to the green flag here, but I'll tell you what, my pick to win this one is JC Floyd.
That seems to be like a popular pick. I don't know what it is about that really, really good-looking blue and yellow 18 car, but you're the second person in the last 2 weeks that has picked him to win. And, well, we'll see if he can do it. Like you said, he's looking at back-to-back podiums right here, but Isaac Salas in that DIRTcar car has been looking pretty good.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say this, though. Isaac Salas, who did have a bit of contact with Floyd, is not going to get any favors from JC if they do come together here. And then we'll look if Kyle or Dylan are able to take advantage of that opportunity. We're about to go for green flag racing once again with 15 laps to go here at I-55. Back underway.
Kyle Jarrett had to get on the binders just a little bit there, as you can see him wanting to pass to the left. But as we know, those that play iRacing, you cannot do that. Meanwhile, a little bit of pinball through the field. We got one going around, and that's going to bring yellow back out onto the speedway again. And I think this could be the first of many over the last 15 laps, just trying to work their way to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, Dustin Fryer saying, why are we trying to drive it in 5 wide right there? That's the beautiful thing about being involved in the actual server. You get to hear all the unfiltered discussions and the talks, and sometimes it's very unfiltered.
I believe it. However, we're keeping it PG on this broadcast, no question about that.
You know, the distinction between PG and G is very minimal, but I always appreciate PG. I don't know where I'm going with that. I just wanted to make
I don't know either, but I'm just going to roll with it as we continue to go here. 14 laps left to go in this feature event. As it's been all Isaac Salas pretty much the entire way. I think he's led all but one, because I believe he got beat on the outside on one of the laps. But other than that, he has been the man at the front of the field.
Well, again, Racing Deal is what is given by Race Control Dean Reynolds. Isaac Salas, again, is going to lead the field back to green. Is he able to hold it? Salas down the inside. JC Floyd has the run around the outside, but they are neck and neck. You cannot separate them in terms of milliseconds until maybe right now some more contact. I think Floyd led that lap by just a few milliseconds. Jared's right there as well. This is going to be insane.
Floyd's not going to give Salas any room. There's no question about that, as he's going to go to the outside. Salas comes right back. A little bit of rubbing and off at turn number 4 that time. And at the line, it's still going to, actually, it's going to be Salas that time, but not by much. They continue to go side by side for the lead, as we're going to come by, I believe, just about 10 laps left to go in this feature as yellow comes back out onto the speedway.
Ronald,
look who else has gotten themselves into position here. It's Adam Carlisle, who started 13th. So Carlisle, currently, as we came into today, showing us 4th in the standings, 15 points back, is putting himself in a position to enter to the top 3, as the rest of the championship competitors not having the best of nights. Billy Northcutt did start 19th, made 10 positions so far, is up to 9th. But Tyler Jackson has kind of been stonewalled after gaining a few positions in the early going from 16th, but just to 12th is all he's been able to manage. Obviously, Kyle Jarrett is putting himself way ahead of the conversation to take over the points lead, but JC Floyd, could he be a dark horse candidate if he runs the rest of the schedule with the way he's been driving?
It's going to be tough to see, but the biggest thing is it's going to be a big points night for Kyle Jarrett if this shakes out the way it's going to here in these final 10 laps. But we're not over and done with it this one just yet, as Floyd and Salas are, I think, going to treat us to another really good restart.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think what we've seen between Salas and Floyd are two drivers who both have made contact with each other, both willing to get into it and get a little bit dirty. It's hard to get dirtier than when you're on a dirt track, but they're doing a really good job of it. Man, this has been an exciting race. The good thing is that it's not them bullying their way completely to the lead. They're giving each other space. They're just not making it easy for any of them. As you see, we're coming to currently the caution length has just been changed to 12 laps to green. I'm not sure why, if there's a change there, but I'm sure we'll figure it out very shortly.
I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to say that's a typo, and you need to be ready to go back to green.
I would say I'm going to be ready to go back to green, but I don't think there's a typo on the part of iRacing for displaying it. Could you imagine if we had 12 laps to green to go? That would be fun.
We'd have to do a lot of banter. We can handle it.
We banter all the time, you know. You usually yell at me and say no twice, so
that's not a false statement.
That is definitely not a false statement. I didn't drink my gallon of water today in the office. I was pretty disappointed.
I'm proud of you for drinking a lot more water.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely am looking. I'm filling up my pure filter all the time. I'm pretty proud of myself. You know, it's good to have water temps going the way they're going for the drivers in front, but if they start beating and banging a little bit more, we might see those water temps rise a little bit, as well as the tempers in the car.
It is possible here as we remain under caution. If you're just joining us, we're about to see the final 10 laps of this 35-lap feature from Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in beautiful Peevely, Missouri, just about half hour south of the great city of St. Louis. Great place
to check out a race. I know we've both been there a few times, you more than me, and it's definitely fun. It's one of those tracks where if you can get there, put it on the bucket list as a dirt racing fan. Always check out World of Outlaws race that goes there. Of course, both sprint cars, late models. We enjoy it.
We do. That is the case. Of course, it is the site of the Ironman 55 for the World of Outlaws Non-Energy Drink Sprint Cars coming up in the 2023 season. Which by the way,
yeah.
Speaking of 29 days away before the World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment late models get started down at Volusia Speedway Park.
I was gonna mention that. It's wild. Today would be in a month, right? The final day of the Sunshine Nationals, which hopefully we actually are able to combat the weather pretty nicely this time, because last year was not fun with rain.
Sean, we gave you the yellow on that because you got into 20.
It's not, as we hopefully get ready to get moving here.
And then going into
still remain under caution.
Really didn't lift. You were kind of
maybe 12 laps was not a typo.
It may not have been.
So Dean Reynolds currently giving an EOL to Sean Hayes. So he's going to get an end-of-line penalty here, as I believe we'll restart with 11 laps to go once we get back going again.
All right, guys, we're going to one to go here.
One to go here. So thank you to Dean Reynolds, making sure we can hear that.
Hey, Dylan, real quick, remember that you interview the top 3 after the feature.
No matter who is going to win this race or finish on the podium, we'll make sure that you guys hear from them after the race. So stick around after the checkered flag falls for that. Dean Reynolds says, let's go racing. I think he's right in that. Green flag out right now. JC Floyd will lead them back to green as they're still beating and banging right behind. Floyd gets hit from the rear. They're all fine, though, as we exit turn 2.
Jared got a little bit of momentum after a shot, and it took his from Carlisle behind him, but he holds on to that 3 spot as he's looking to try to get around Salas. They make contact now coming down the front straightaway. They're wheel to wheel as JC Floyd continue to hold on to this one, and that's going to be a hip check and a half by Jared, as Carlisle's going to get by Salas as well. That's going to bump him back.
Salas, I almost feel like you reap a little bit of what you've sowed earlier in this race. He's been really strong. It's not over for him, but he did get involved in a few instances of hip checking earlier, but he seems fine. I think the penalty enforced by the racers is fine.
Right now, it's going to be lap number 28 hitting the books this time. That is, I'm not going to try to do the math, but we are approaching 5 laps to go here for JC Floyd as he is rolling right on the bottom of the racetrack. And time going to run out for Kyle Jarrett here as it's going to be 7 laps to go this time as the 18 car stays in front.
7 laps to go, now 6.5. These laps wind down very quickly. The top 4 have separated themselves by around 10 car lengths back to 5th place. So, a battle for the podium, a battle for the win. Way up high is Isaac Salas, who really wanted to get back involved in this conversation. Don't count him out of a podium spot just yet. Adam Carlisle in 3rd, Kyle Jarrett in 2nd, but he is quickly losing steam with 5 laps to go here. JC Floyd, your leader.
It's all Floyd out in front as we are under 5 laps to go. The flagger's already given the wave to JC Floyd as he has this one pretty much in check. As long as this stays green, Jared running out of time, and he's trying to mirror his tracks. You can see it behind him, just not been able to do it. Carlisle also peeking to try if he's got anything on the bottom. Here is time starting to run out.
Time certainly running out. 3 laps to go. Does JC Floyd have it in him to keep this lead? Remember, he was battling Salas for the lead for much of this race, but then got involved in some contact, put him back to 3rd or 4th. All he's hoping for now with 2 laps to go is please no yellow. Please no yellow. That's all he's hoping for. Is there a curse there? I'm not sure. But Jared has gotten much closer the last time by. Is he going to still be able to have a run? White flag is out. JC Floyd still in front. Jared right behind him. Jared goes up high. He loses some momentum. All Floyd has to do is get around 3 and 4, and he wins here at the Street Stock race. That's exactly what happens. JC Floyd, winner at Peevely.
Second is going to be Kyle Jarrett coming across the line. Carlisle will finish in 3rd. Isaac Salas 4th, and Drew Hopkins will round out the top 5. But a good win for JC Floyd. Back-to-back podiums and a great points night for Kyle Jarrett as well as he comes home with that number 2 spot.
That was some great racing. I think Kyle Jarrett has definitely given himself a little bit of separation in the championship standings, as I believe the top 3 are getting in front of the stand for a photo. Floyd, Jared, Carlisle, that is your top 3. Kyle Jarrett just escaped and apologized for leaving, but nonetheless, we're going to get them here in our Discord chat in just a few moments, Mike.
Going to be cool to hear from these guys, and I'll tell you, JC Floyd, like I said, 2 races, 2 podiums, a 3rd and a 1st. You can't get much better than that. We'll take a look at what's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Next Wednesday night in between Christmas and New Year's, we're heading to Fairbury, baby. Falls, as my good friend Ruben would say. Cedar Lake Speedway in New Richmond, Wisconsin will be the week after that on January 4th, and then it'll be Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa, January 11th here. That's going to be the next 3 on the docket.
I don't know which ones you'll be a part of, Mike. I unfortunately will not have my computer access as I'll be back home for the December 28th race next weekend. Or next week, I should say. My goodness, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Nonetheless, we are joined by the race winner, JC Floyd. JC, congratulations. How's it feel?
Amazing, actually. It's on my only 2nd time running this, so it feels pretty good to finally win one.
And, of course, you had a lot of battling right there with Isaac Salas. Just take us through, because it seemed like you were a little frustrated on the radio, but you were able to get back into the lead and stay there.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to give him as much room as I could on the bottom because he had the line, because, obviously there it's on the bottom, so I figured I was giving him enough room that he could still do it, but he kept driving in my left rear. But, I don't know. It's how anybody would be if they're racing for the lead. You're just somebody going to keep driving to you. You're going to say something, obviously, but it was a good race with him.
And, we were talking a bit in the booth. It's going to be very hard to do it, but from your 2 performances here, you've put in a potential resume to be a dark horse favorite if anybody else misses races. You feel like you have what it takes to keep running steadily in the top 5 to maybe compete for a championship here?
It would definitely be cool. I had one of my buddies. He couldn't do the league anymore, so he pretty much said, "Hey, have my rest of my year." So yeah, we're gonna come here every week and I told Kyle I'd like to come in just to win, and then I mean, if he wants to win points, he can have points. So.
Well, congratulations, JC, on the win, and have a Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you so much. You too.
That's JC Floyd, started 7th in the feature and ended up winning it there. Mike Warren, we're going to have Kyle Jarrett come in and let you take this one away.
Oh, Kyle, I'll tell you what, man. A great run for you, just working your way up through the field, and at the end of the night, a big points night for you as well.
Yeah, that definitely helped with T-Jack struggling there, and it just felt like that race was definitely a survival race, just kind of rolling the bottom, and seeing Drew had a good points night too, so hopefully that'll give us a decent lead and a good cushion going forward here.
Now for you, I mean, you look at those first 3 races of the season, all on half miles. You switch to the bull ring tonight. I think you've shown it doesn't matter what type of track you're on. You're going to be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the way. How do you feel about that going into Fairbury again next week?
Fairbury is definitely going to be, one of those tracks that's survival race. Just hopefully, just try and keep clean, have a consistent nights, and hopefully that'll bring us forward there.
All right, Kyle, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Kyle Jarrett coming home with a big points night here again, coming home in that number 2 spot.
And of course, we'll have Adam Carlisle come into the booth as well. Carlisle, who was in 4th in the point standings coming into this one, well, no longer believe, my math is maybe not right, but I believe we'll be in 2nd. Adam, a nice race for you and a nice bit of a recovery drive there. How you feeling after it?
I'm wore out, man. Having to start from the tail and try to get forward, but all in all, pretty good.
Now, of course, you look back at see the finishing results. I'm not sure if you did, but some of your championship competitors struggling a bit out there. It was really you and Kyle Jarrett who set the field apart, and it's looking like a top 4 championship battle is definitely in the open. You feel like you have what it takes over the next half plus of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. My thing is just to, I just try to be competitive and, try to be there when it counts and, just race smart and, hopefully points will work out.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the podium finish, and we'll see you at Fairbury.
Thanks. Before you guys cut me loose, I want to just real quick, I want to apologize to Joey Brewer. I got into him there in the heat race. He turned across my nose the previous lap and knocked my right front end just a little bit, and I went down in the corner real hot under him. Didn't quite realize he was that close. We bounced off each other, and I tried to stay off of him, and he turned off of me again and hit the wall. So sorry about that. It wasn't intentional. I do apologize.
We do love apologies here, and it is the Christmas season, so we always love seeing that. Joey Brewer finished 8th in one of the 2 last chance showdowns, but we appreciate you, Adam, joining in. And Mike Warren, that was a fun bit of racing at I-55, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what the rest of this season holds.
It's going to be a fun one. We go back-to-back bull rings next week as we head to Falls as a special in between Christmas and New Year's special on December 28th. Going to be a great time as we head to the land of Lincoln. And which one's your birthday? Oh, Cedar Lake's Mick's birthday, we just learned. So happy birthday to Mick, in case I don't see him. That's coming up on January 4th, and January 11th, we head to Knoxville. So we go back to a half-mile racetrack. So a lot of big events coming up as we continue to move through this season and what's been really fun so far.
I'm a bit jealous I'm not able to be sitting with you guys in the our offices right now, and I'm just chilling at home. But it was a great time. You see those upcoming events again. But for now, it's been a good night of racing, and JC Floyd is your winner. Until next time, good night and good racing.
And you're clear.
Woo!
I need to unmute you.
That was fun, guys.
That was fun.
That was a ton of fun.
I go home. I go home now.
You go home now. I'm happy it wasn't multiple prelims or anything like that.
No, I like that better.